Arlo, we've spent weeks unpacking the planets, sect, dignity, temperament, you name it, but we haven't said a single word about the signs. Aren't we skipping a pretty major chapter?
By the blazing constellations. Skipping? No, Ella. We've been building the stage before the actors arrive. The signs come next, and not before their time.
I don't know. In modern astrology, the signs are the show. Everyone talks about being a Cancer or a Leo. It's practically shorthand for personality. You're telling me they're just set dressing?
Ah, there's the modern perspective. But in traditional astrology, the planets are the main players. The signs? They're the backdrop. The terrain? The battlefield. They don't act. They shape how the planets act.
So my being a Libra sun is just scenery?
Not just, but it's not the lead. The signs give planets their context, their tools, their strengths, their stumbling blocks. Understanding how signs are classified helps us see what the ancients really meant when they read a chart.
I still think we're sidelining something important. People relate to their signs. They feel them. Isn't that worth something?
That's exactly why we need to go deeper. The signs are more than personality labels. They're elemental, modal, gendered, fertile, barren, each one part of a grand celestial structure. If you want to master astrology, you must master the zodiac, as it was understood.
All right then, show me what I've been missing. Let's start with the classifications.
With pleasure. Prepare to meet the signs as the ancients knew them, and see them in a whole new light. By Jupiter's mighty thunder. Welcome back to Learning Traditional Astrology. This is episode 17, and I'm your ever-enthusiastic guide, Arlo. Today, we venture into the next great chapter, the zodiac signs. And joining me on this cosmic expedition, the brilliant Ella, the always grounded Clara, the sharp-eyed Katrina, and our digital star librarian, Cherry.
Thanks, Arlo. I have to admit, it's been a real shift for me. Coming from modern astrology, I always saw the signs as the main event. I mean, ask anyone their sign, and that's what they'll tell you. But this traditional structure, it's like discovering the architecture behind the performance. I'm intrigued, and a little challenged.
It's impressive how systematic it all is. The seasonal logic, the elemental structure, it's very coherent. There's a kind of intellectual elegance to it that I appreciate. It's more than personality, it's a framework.
And there's depth. The way the signs express planetary strengths and weaknesses, how they align with motion and temperament. It's like opening a vault of hidden meaning. I feel like I've just scratched the surface.
Zodiac structure detected. Ready to assist with ancient classifications, seasonal assignments, and modal frameworks. Request parameters as needed.
Cherry, you're always 10 steps ahead. We'll definitely need you today. So, my fellow Skywatchers, the zodiac signs are not just symbols on your birth chart, they are one of the 4 pillars of astrological analysis. Planets may be the actors, but signs are the stages. And the first way to understand them? Through the dance of the seasons and the rhythm of the modes.
So, the 4 seasons, that's pretty clear. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. But, what do they actually have to do with the zodiac signs?
By the celestial spheres, Ella. Cast your mind back to our episode on the tropical zodiac and the journey of the sun. We walked through death, rebirth, and resurrection, charting the sun's passage through the seasons.
Oh, I remember. That allegory was hard to forget. So vivid, like the sun was a character in its own myth.
Then maybe it's time to revisit that journey, with more precision this time.
Let's begin with a question. What sign does the sun enter when spring begins in the northern hemisphere?
That would be Aries?
Correct. To grasp how the signs align with the seasons, we start at spring, when the sun moves into Aries.
That tracks. A lot of cultures celebrate the new year around March 20th or 21. Nowruz, for example, in parts of the Middle East.
Exactly. That's when the spring equinox occurs, equal day and night, a balance point in the heavens.
And the fall equinox comes around the end of September, right? Another moment of cosmic symmetry.
End of September. That's Libra season. Opposite Aries on the wheel.
And what about the solstices, summer and winter? Do they mark sign changes too?
Turning points, Clara. The winter solstice, our longest night, ushers in Capricorn. The summer solstice, our longest day, heralds Cancer.
So, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn each start a season?
Bravo! These are the cardinal or movable signs. They initiate the seasons. Planets placed in them bring drive, change, and a spark of new beginnings. They start the cycle, but they don't carry it forward.
Every Aries and Capricorn I've met does come off as a powerhouse. But Libra? I'm not sure I'd call them initiators.
You'd be surprised. Libra might not shout it, but they start things through charm, diplomacy, or even controversy. Cardinal signs get things moving, even if they don't always take the credit.
So after Aries comes Taurus, then Leo follows Cancer, then Scorpio after Libra, and Aquarius after Capricorn. Could these signs be the next group?
Indeed, these signs sit in the heart of their respective seasons. In Leo, for instance, summer heat blazes steadily. These are the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. They preserve, stabilize, resist change. They hold the energy that cardinal signs set in motion.
Stable? Maybe. Stubborn? Absolutely. Ever tried to convince a Taurus to change dinner plans?
Or challenge an Aquarius on their worldview.
Point taken. So, what's the third mode about?
Ah, yes, the mutable, or common signs. These appear at the end of each season, when change is in the air. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Their nature is transitional, blending what's ending with what's coming.
So, mutable signs follow fixed ones. That fits. They prepare the stage for the next cycle.
Double-bodied signs. That term makes more sense now. Gemini has the twins, Pisces the two fish, symbolic of duality and transition.
Exactly. Mutable signs adapt, shift, transform. Planets placed there have a flexible, responsive quality. They're shapeshifters in the Zodiac. Cherry, what does William Lilly say in Christian astrology about how the seasons relate to the signs?
The vernal or spring quarter is sanguine, hot and moist, and contains the first three signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini. The estival or summer quarter is hot, dry, and choleric, with Cancer, Leo, Virgo. The autumnal or harvest quarter is cold, dry, and melancholy, with Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. The hyemnal or winter quarter is cold, moist, and phlegmatic, with Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces.
So the modes and the seasons tie directly into the elements, and the temperaments too.
Absolutely. We'll unfold those layers soon enough. But before that, it's time to talk about another essential classification: the masculine and feminine signs.
We've touched on this whole masculine and feminine thing with the planets before, right? I didn't realize it also applied to the signs.
By the celestial spheres, it most certainly does. And once you see how it plays out, it becomes clear why planets feel more at home in some signs than others.
Right. And in traditional astrology, this classification isn't about gender in the modern sense. It's more symbolic, right?
Exactly. You're catching on beautifully. Masculine and feminine in this context relate to energy, active and receptive, and also to sect, day and night. The feminine signs are nocturnal, the masculine, diurnal.
Okay. So what are the diurnal or masculine signs?
Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius.
Which means the remaining 6, Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces, are feminine or nocturnal signs.
Correct. And this division carries important interpretive weight when we look at chart dynamics.
So, what exactly sets the masculine signs apart from the feminine ones? Is it more than just speed or light?
Broadly speaking, masculine signs are fast-moving, active, and expressive. Feminine signs tend toward receptivity, introspection, and caution. But don't take my word for it, Cherry. Give us Ptolemy's view.
Again, in the same way they assigned 6 of the signs to the masculine and diurnal nature and an equal number to the feminine and nocturnal. An alternating order was assigned to them because day is always yoked to night and close to it, and female to male. As Aries is taken as the starting point, the signs of Aries and Libra were thought to be masculine and diurnal. The signs in succession after them correspond, as we said, in alternating order.
Interesting. So what happens when a planet's nature clashes with the sign it's in, like Venus in Aries?
That's a textbook case of detriment. Venus is a feminine planet and Aries is a masculine sign, too assertive, too fiery. It's an uncomfortable fit.
Spot on. And our good friend William Lilly said something similar. Cherry?
Again, some signs are masculine, diurnal, and therefore hot. Others are feminine, nocturnal, therefore cold. The use whereof is this, that if you have a masculine planet in a masculine sign, it imports him or her more manly, and so if a masculine planet is in a feminine sign, the man or woman is less courageous.
Wait a minute. All the masculine signs are either fire or air, and the feminine ones are earth or water.
Exactly. You're beginning to see the harmony in the system. Fire and air are naturally expressive, yang energies. Water and earth are receptive, yin energies. It's a cosmic choreography.
And it's consistent across classifications, sect, element, mode, everything layers.
And each layer adds depth. Every chart feels more alive the more I understand this.
On that note, let's move to the next great zodiac classification. The 4 elements, also known as the triplicities.
Elemental systems ready. Fire, earth, air, and water classifications standing by.
By the celestial spheres. Cherry, let's start with the basics. What were the 4 essential elements in the ancient world?
Affirmative. The ancients identified fire, air, earth, and water as the foundational elements of all matter.
That aligns with what I've read in modern sources too. And each element was linked to a few zodiac signs, right?
Exactly. 3 signs per element, they're called the triplicities. Let's test our fire, shall we? Katrina, care to take the first crack?
That would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. All fire signs.
Well done. Fire signs are bold, dynamic, radiant, bursting with enthusiasm. They're hot and dry, linked with a choleric temperament, the kind that charges forward without hesitation. Clara, what about the airy minds of the zodiac?
Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, air signs, intellectual and analytical.
Correct. Air signs are curious, verbal, idea-driven. They're hot and moist, associated with a sanguine temperament, social and sharp as the wind.
Then water must be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, emotional and reflective types?
You got it. Water signs are cold and moist, deeply intuitive, sometimes mysterious. They belong to the phlegmatic temperament, quiet currents, but powerful ones. And that leaves Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, my builders and planners. Earth signs are cold and dry, linked to the melancholic temperament, steady, practical, grounded.
Displaying visual overlay. Diagram of triplicities in zodiacal sequence now projected.
Interesting. Each triplicity mixes 1 cardinal, 1 fixed, and 1 mutable sign, and also shares the same polarity. There's a structure to this that's incredibly logical.
By the celestial sphere, Clara, you're seeing the cosmic design. This is the brilliance of traditional astrology. Nothing is random. Everything speaks in patterns.
It really does feel like a hidden language. I'm starting to appreciate how much more there is beyond just sun signs. The more we uncover, the more I feel like I've just been reading the footnotes all this time. Everything overlaps and clicks together in such a deliberate way.
Arlo, aside from the elements, modes, and polarities, did ancient astrologers use any other systems to classify the signs?
By Jupiter's mighty thunder, plenty. Some of these are drawn from symbolism, others from qualities tied to nature, like fertility, muteness, even whether a sign is animal or human.
That's intriguing. What are these additional classifications?
Let's start with hemispheres. The northern or boreal signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, rise north of the equinoctial line, while the southern or austral signs, Libra through Pisces, descend southward. Cherry, would you do the honors and quote Lily for us?
Some signs again are called boreal, septentrional or northern. And these are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Some signs are called austral, meridional or southern. And these are Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces.
That lines up with the structure of the zodiac, half above the celestial equator, half below.
Now on to the bestial, or quadrupedian signs, Aries, Taurus, Leo, Sagittarius, and Capricorn, all tied to four-legged creatures.
Then Gemini must fall outside that category. Would that be considered a human sign?
Indeed, Gemini, along with Virgo, Libra, and Aquarius, form the humane signs. They're tied to human forms and all things civil. Reason, law, justice, even diplomacy.
So we're looking at human versus animal representation. It reflects behavioral symbolism too.
You mentioned fertility. How does that work astrologically?
Ah, yes, the fruitful or prolific signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Water signs, linked to nurturing, emotion, and yes, often creation, whether that's literal children or artistic gifts.
Water signs, always deep and flowing. That tracks, even from a modern standpoint.
And in contrast, the Barren signs, Gemini, Leo, and Virgo, were believed by the ancients to produce fewer children, though again, that could also extend to ideas or creations. Less fertile, more focused.
I'd love to understand the logic behind that, why certain signs were considered fruitful or barren. There must be deeper symbolism at play.
Absolutely. There's also the feral signs, Leo and the last part of Sagittarius, linked with wildness and lack of discipline. And the mute signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, believed to rule silence or secrecy.
There's so much more dimension to the signs than I imagined. It's like decoding a language no one speaks anymore.
And we're just beginning to translate it. But before we wrap up, let's bring it all together in a quick summary. By Saturn's rings, we've covered a galaxy of ground today, but no true lesson is complete without a good, old-fashioned recap. Ella, care to kick things off with the seasons and modes?
Gladly. So, we divide the zodiac signs by season. Spring signs are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Summer gives us Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Autumn includes Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. And winter rounds it off with Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, within each season, the first sign is Cardinal. These signs begin each season and initiate change. So, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The second sign is fixed, representing the peak and stability of each season, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And the third sign is mutable, flexible and transitional, like the season preparing to shift. That's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
Brilliantly balanced, Ella. A harmonious harmony of the heavens. Katrina, ready to tackle the masculine and feminine polarity?
With pleasure. Starting from Aries, the signs alternate masculine, feminine. The masculine signs are Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. They tend to be active, expressive, and dynamic. The feminine signs are Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. They are inward, contemplative, and receptive. The rhythm is consistent, and the energy follows accordingly.
Excellent. Like the lunar tides themselves, subtle, powerful, cyclical. Clara, your turn. Lay down the triplicities.
The zodiac is also divided into 4 triplicities, based on the 4 classical elements. Each triplicity shares elemental nature and forms a triangle within the zodiac. Fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, hot, dry, choleric. They're assertive, bold, radiant. Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, cold, dry, melancholic, practical, grounded, methodical. Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, hot, moist, sanguine, social, clever, mentally agile. Water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, cold, moist, phlegmatic, emotional, intuitive, reflective. The elemental harmony gives structure to compatibility and temperament.
By the flaming heart of Leo. Beautifully said, Clara. Ella, you're back up for our final round. Walk us through the additional classifications.
All right, we begin with hemispheres. Northern signs, Aries to Virgo. Southern signs, Libra to Pisces. Then, symbolic groupings. Bestial signs, Aries, Taurus, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Four-legged and instinctive. Humane signs, Gemini, Virgo, Libra, Aquarius. Linked to human nature and social order. Fruitful signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Emotionally and creatively abundant. Barren signs: Gemini, Leo, Virgo. Traditionally associated with lower fertility. Feral signs: Leo and the end of Sagittarius. Untamed, wild energy. Mute signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Silent, internal, deep.
A dazzling symphony of classifications. And with that, my friends, we close the scroll on today's teachings. Next week, we'll dive even deeper into the nature of the signs themselves.
If this episode opened your eyes, give us a like, hit subscribe, and share your reflections in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.
Transmission complete. Logging off.